Good part of the day, everybody. This is Yulala Kayumova, and today our guest is Shakhrizoda Samidinova. She is the SUSI alumni, and today we will be talking about the program, the requirements, and how to become the best applicant. Shakhrizoda, thank you so much for doing this.
Hello, everyone, and thank you too for inviting me this amazing conference. I think it will be very helpful for everyone.
Okay, so Shakhrizoda, let's just get right into it. Can you please tell us more about yourself and how you found out about the program, how you applied?
Okay, my name is Shakhrizoda and I'm 20 years old and I'm currently a student at MIT University in Tashkent and my major is IT. I learned about the program last year when I was looking for some exchange programs, and then like a lot of programs came, and there were like SUSI and UGRAS, which were my favorites, and I started the preparation like a month before the deadline. So yeah, it was my like very first journey to the exchange programs, and I was very kind of lucky. So I got selected in the first try.
That's amazing. So a stereotype exists that only the best students get accepted to the program. Only like the ones with the highest experience get accepted. Only the ones with the highest English language proficiency get accepted. So what can you say about this? What was your English language proficiency? What were the volunteering experiences that you had?
Um, Actually, my English language proficiency was quite high. I got eight 3 years ago before being admitted to the university, and I had like a huge like experience of applying to American universities. I had been trying for American universities since I was eighth grade and doing volunteering work for that. And then apart from this, I applied to SAT and I was quite kind of professional in writing motivational letters. But when I was selected as a finalist for SUSI, I have seen different types of girls and I realized that the biggest thing there is not just your great GPA or like a lot of volunteering or kind of a lot of years of experience in this field. It's much more about your motivational letter, your motivation to study that field, which is like ecology and women's studies and women issues. And I have seen the girls whose English was A2 or B1 level, and the girls who didn't get IELTS at all, the girls with 6 level, like IELTS 6, 5.5, but they were still selected as a finalist because they had a great motivation to learn about women issues and to do a change in their community. So I realized that thing, yeah.
Okay, that's amazing. I didn't know about that. So now let's just talk about the program. So it says that the institute consists of a 4-week academic residency. What does that mean? And how was your experience in America?
Yes, like as it's written in the description, the SUSI program consists of like 4 institutes that are located in different parts of America, like University of Kansas, University of Delaware, St. Mary's College, and Green River College. Yeah, these 4 universities are host universities for the SUSI alumni, and they always welcome the students from different parts of the world, especially from developing countries like Africa, East Asia, and Central Asia. So our host university was located in Washington State in Auburn, which is like 20 minutes from Seattle. And it was called Green River College. The state itself was very beautiful, and each of the institution has their own theme, and our theme was environmental studies and women issues. So I think this is why they chose this green state, because Washington is one of the best natural places in America. So we stayed like 5 weeks. It was 5 weeks in our time. The program continued from 25th of July till I think 30th of July. 25th of June till 30th of July, yeah. And they covered all the costs, like from airfare tickets till your accommodation, studies, and transportation inside the country. They gave us monthly allowance, which was $700 per month, and this was quite good. We didn't pay for anything. They paid for our accommodation, for our weekly food. Even they did the groceries for us. They like took care of us according to our dietary restrictions, which was quite amazing. And we stayed in like student apartments in student dormitories, which was located very close to the Green River College, and we studied 6 days a week, except Sunday, yes. And we our lessons were from 9 till 6, and we had like geography lessons, and our geography lessons were never conducted in a class. We visited to different sites, places, which was very amazing. We had women studies, gender studies, we had sexuality class, and we had public speaking class, and also we had some American history and Black history class, which was very amazing. So I realized that SUSI is not just an opportunity to see US, but it's kind of whole experience, whole educational opportunity, which was very amazing for me. Yeah.
That's awesome. So I see that the topic for last year and this year are the same. They're about environmental issues. And I want to ask, like, what was your experience in this whole like climate change, environmentalism stuff? Like, did you volunteer in these fields? Did you have like any work experience? So can you please tell us more about this?
Okay, yes, the themes are like really similar. Last year in my time, it was also environmental studies. This year, it's also the same. I personally had never taken part in any kind of big environmental activism or something, or some projects or volunteering, but I myself was very environmentally person, and I wrote this thing in my essay. I care about like a lot about the environment, and I started doing this like since I watched a video by Subjective, like it was their first initial video about the plastic, and I was like very devastated by the effects that we are doing to the earth, and I started becoming very eco-friendly. Like I usually support local stores. I don't use plastic. I always use shoppers for the shopping, and I encourage people to do this thing, the people around me, to become much more eco-friendly. Yes. So in my essay, I wrote that I do care about environment a lot, although I have never done any kind of volunteering experience in this. I have a strong motivation to change people's mind about the environment and make them much more aware about this. And I told about this in my interview too. So I think in order to be selected for this program, you don't have to be kind of super environmental activist or have done kind of big environmental project or so. You at least have to be kind of very caring about the environment and interested in environmental issues and discovering more about becoming environmentally friendly. Yes.
Okay, thank you. And the eligibility criteria states that you have to be first, second, or third year students. So will there be any exceptions for students who are in fourth course?
Um, for fourth year, like for the final year student, there will be no exceptions. Like, but last year I have seen two exceptions, but that was not fourth year students. It was one of them. One of the finalists were master's student. She was studying in the first year of her master's, and she had still had one more year. But this year they're saying that they're getting only like undergraduate students, but I strongly encourage masters, like first year master's students to apply to this program because last year they did exception. And apart from this, there was one more finalist who was chosen, and that finalist didn't study in Uzbekistan. She was Uzbek citizen, but her like she was doing her undergraduate degree in Poland. So I again like encourage people who are Uzbek citizens but do not study in Uzbekistan to apply to this program. So if they are highly motivated people and if they're like suitable for the criteria, their chances of being selected is good, like really equal to the ones who study in Uzbekistan. Yeah.
And what about students who have a bachelor's degree that is like 3 years, or students who are studying in medical field? So their bachelor's will last from 5 to 7 years.
For the medical students who study like 6 years or so, they can still apply to the university, to the program, unless they're in the last year of their study, like unless they're 6 year, if I'm not mistaken, yeah. And about the students who have 3 year bachelor's degrees, they can apply to the program when they're in their first and second year. So the like criteria says that you still have to have like at least one semester when you come back and study here. Yeah.
Okay, that's amazing. And the criteria also states that you have to be a leader. So how can applicants showcase that they are leaders, and what kind of things that there are that they can do to become those leaders?
Okay, so leadership means different things for different people. I strongly encourage people to like, firstly, the thing that shows their leadership is if you have paid attention, there is a kind of section in the application form that says memberships and the volunteering they have done. So that I strongly like encourage people to pay more attention to this field, and also they can write about their leadership skills in the motivational letter, which is very good opportunity to do this. And yes, for me, being leader is being equal to being inclusive and understanding people and their individual differences and accepting them as they are. And also, like for other people, it can be different. So when they're writing their motivational letter, they have to emphasize their own leadership qualities, which is very different for different people, and the experiences they have, like volunteering experiences or so. So it will be helpful for them, yeah.
So you said the word inclusivity, and it just caught my attention. What if I am someone who doesn't like Black people, or who can't even stand Jews, or someone who is completely against LGBT? And if I see someone who's like that, I just want to slap their face. What is your advice for me?
Yeah, like if you have read the application requirements, there was a word called tolerant. They have added this word this year. In my period, there was not that tolerant like that word. This is because they really pay attention to the tolerance. When I was selected as a finalist, they gave us a contract to saying that if I put somebody under emotional damage, I will no longer be the part of the program and I will not be alumni, which means it will affect my future visas. Yes, I said this thing because the program itself is funded by the U.S. Department of State, funded by the government. So if you do something like this, it will 100% affect your future visas. So for me, like as I said, being tolerant and inclusive is number one thing because I think that, like, according to the years of my experience of my leadership, I still think that you can still work with the people who have completely different views in life, who have completely different values in life, and who strongly disagree with your key values. Yes, it's like you can still work and find a common language with them, like without being radical. We have to like understand that each of our nature and our values and the views about life and ideas are formed because of the society around us, because we were grown up in this environment. Like we are Muslim because we have seen a lot of people who are Muslims and we have seen our parents praying in the morning. So this affected us to be a Muslim. But imagine those people who are in different religion, they grew up in this environment, and it's not just easy for them to break those rules for them. And about the stereotypes, like the thing is that key things in people's nature grow in their childhood stage, and the stereotypes and the values that are put in our minds in our childhood stage will never change. So yes, and about Black people and people of different colors, I strongly say that we have to be kind of very inclusive towards them, because skin color is not their choice. Look is given by God, and everybody is very, very equal in front of the God. So we can never ever become like violent towards them just because of the skin color they have. And Black people, they do have very, very sad history, and we have to feel kind of empathy towards them. So it will be very helpful. And about the different religions, yes, you can still find the kind of common language with the people who have different religions. It's not a kind of hard thing because even in our Uzbekistan, there are people who have different religions. For example, we see Christians a lot, we see atheists a lot, and we can still be welcoming towards them without, like, for example, following their ideology. It's not the same thing with following their ideology. It's just respecting their personal boundaries and accepting them as an individual person and understanding their individual differences and trying to find the kind of common language. And about the LGBTQ, yeah, you have to be kind of super tolerant here. This is very against our values and our religion, but still their way of life is their way of life, and we cannot be kind of discriminating towards them and violent towards them, and it will not be even effective. They will not change their orientation or the way they think just because our violent words or violent action. It will just affect ourselves. Yeah. So this is not promoting LGBTQ or something. This is just encouraging to become much more tolerant and understanding individual differences and finding a common language. Yes.
So can I slap them if they say something bad about my religion or if they ask a weird question?
Actually, no, because in America, everybody can tell their own opinion. And when they say something about bad about your religion, try to explain the beautiful sides of the religion with a good behavior, so they will not have a kind of wrong view about Muslims. They will not think that Muslims are violent people or radical people. I never want people to think like this about our religion. We can just show a good behavior to them, to be a good example to them. So it will be good, yeah.
Thank you. And I think this is my last question. So if I get chosen for the program, will I be able to perform my daily prayers in America?
Of course, yes, you will be very welcome because we went to the US when there was an Eid, Qurban Eid, yeah. We went there and they were so welcoming. I don't know, like, I have never expected them to be that much welcoming. They even congratulated us with our religious like ceremony, and they gave gifts and they tried to learn about Islam more. They asked the questions. They were really curious, the Americans, and they like you will have all the facilities to perform all of your prayers. You're very welcome. They will be very welcoming towards your religion. Even they have completely different views in life, they still do respect you as a person and your religion and respect your boundaries as a person and individual. Yes.
Okay, thank you so much for all the information. I think it was very informative, and we will be filming the second part of this video soon. Hopefully. Thank you, Shakhrizoda, for your time.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
Bye.